All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We're back Sunday here. Free Money Sunday, as our guy Title likes to say. Nothing better than waking up. College football on Saturday. You got World Series on Saturday right now. You got NHL. Nobody really cares about that except myself. But, hey, we're here. NFL Sunday, NBA in full swing. We got all the sports going on. Best time of the year for a sports whiz like ourselves. Ham, what's going on, brother? How's your weekend been? Happy Sunday morning. What's up, man? Oh, my Jesus. And we're on mute right away to start the morning. This guy's scarfing down some McDonald's. Oh, my gosh. I mean, come on.
Hey, what a way to get the day started. Hey,
what a way to start the day here.
We're going to have a great day. We're going to win a main slate. And then, Nades, I'll take you back to 2023 when we did this same game. And what did Nades call? Nades had a George Kittle 3-touchdown Sunday night football game in the Bay Area. We're going right back. I don't know if you're on Kittle tonight. He is playing. Debo's playing, but looking forward to breaking it down again. We did it last year. We're doing it again now. No more mute donkeys, okay? No more mute donkeys from Ham today.
Yeah, no more mute donkeys. We got to get that straight. And, yeah, last year at this time, I called the George Kittle ball bag on the forehead play of the day. And guess what? He went out there, scored 3 tutties. Hey, we'll see once we jump into the captain spot. But, yeah, I do like me some Kittle. I always love me some Kittle, especially in competitive primetime type games, right? Games
and National Tight End Day, too, now that I say
National Tight End, right. Today is, I contacted my DK rep to see if I could get 8 tight end slots on DraftKings today to see if I could play that and then stack them up with Jordan Love, my boy. So we'll see how that works out for main slate. But, National Tight End Day, games in the Bay Area here. The Niners 3-4, right? Not the start they're looking for. Obviously, they're injury riddled. Christian McCaffrey will be lucky to play 1 snap this season. Good congratulations to everybody out there in season long who took McCaffrey number 1 overall. That was a great pick. Love to have him on your IR spot there. That was a great pick there for sure. But nonetheless, let's jump into the game here, Ham. We got 47 total. There's it looks like a little bit of chance of precipitation here overall. 4.5 point spread here for San Fran. And the kind of the storylines, right? Brendan Aubrey was out on jury duty, but looks like he's going to be able to make this game here tonight and play the man of the people out there, just doing things in all caveats of life out there, banging 70-yard field goals, being a man of the people in his local representation there. But let's jump into the captain. You got Jordan Mason, pretty good matchup. Running backs have kind of gashed this Dallas team this season. He is 16-5. The workload that he's been getting for San Fran when he's been in there. Kind of the line share. He's up at the top. You got CeeDee Lamb at 15-9. We know the upside CeeDee Lamb always has. And then you got Dak Prescott at 14-4, Brock Purdy at 14-1. Purdy can spread it out around a little bit. Debo looks to be back tonight. Kittle looks to be back. Juwan Jennings is going to be out. Obviously, Ayuk's out as well. So from a wide receiver standpoint, it's pretty much Debo and Kittle show. That's why I like those two guys quite a bit overall. I'll let the field kind of chase these other donkeys down at the bottom, right? The Jacob Cowlings of the world, things like that, Ronnie Bells, which are going to be fine in terms of value standpoint, but nothing I'm chasing up at the captain position. Where are you looking for the captain spot here tonight? Pretty interesting game overall.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we say it every Sunday, but another must-win game for both of these teams, both struggling, both want to be contenders. Obviously, the Niners going off the Super Bowl last year. But for me, you said it, Jordan Mason, 86% of the snaps. No McCaffrey, some guy named Garendo behind him who they don't trust. They're going to feed him the ball. And you said it. Cowboys have been getting gashed all season. Still no Micah Parsons. I need to check on DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't know if he's back or not, but I know Micah's out. This defense hasn't been very good all season. So he's my favorite Niner especially with Debo and Kittle being either sick and or banged up. So give me some Mason, and then my favorite Cowboys got to be CeeDee Lamb. The way the Cowboys win football games is to force feed this guy the football. He's a really good wide receiver. Dak needs to target him 10 plus times, in my opinion. I'll be building some game scripts around Dak, just peppering him with balls. We saw the Sunday night game against Pittsburgh where they kind of had some confusion or miscommunication around the goal line, and Dak got picked. We got to feed CD the ball. I mean, Zeke's dust, the corpse of Dalvin Cook is going to be activated tonight. Feed CD the ball, feed Jake Ferguson the ball, and let's pass it around because we don't have any backs. So CD and Mason would be my two favorite captains tonight. I got some others I can talk about later, but I'm going to be focusing around Mason and Lamb.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent breakdown there. My favorite captain is going to be Jordan Mason here. Pulling up the old DVP rankings, which we have over here at SHIPITNation.com on the website. You look at San Fran, the worst position for them. They're pretty good defense overall, but the worst position for them is running back and then tight end, which obviously plays into Jake Ferguson a little bit. But you look at Dallas, 29th in the NFL against opposing running backs, 26th in the NFL against opposing quarterbacks. So they should be able to move the ball here. Wide receivers do pretty good against them. Where they're not good is tight end, but again, I'm not really worried about that in terms of Kittle here. We've seen these spots when Ayuk's not in there, the offense pretty much is going to run through Kittle, Mason, and Debo, right? Debo's going to be that Swiss Army knife. Kittle, I'm sure he'll play a lot of kind of like slot, over the field, middle of the field type routes here, and they're more than happy, especially as of late, going to Kittle. So I do like Kittle in the captain position. Jordan Mason is going to be my favorite captain. He is most expensive. I hope ownership kind of stays off him a little bit because more people like to go to these wide receivers and that up in the captain position here. So I like Jordan Mason a ton. CeeDee Lamb I do like quite a bit from Dallas just due to the upside there. But I think my favorite Dallas captain is going to be Jake Ferguson here. Just allows you to really kind of avoid some of those value plays that I think are overall solid, but going to pick up a decent amount of ownership due to the injuries on the San Fran side, right? We're going to have to talk about Ricky Pearsall, right? Back, expected to pick up a big role. He is at least priced up somewhat. Any thoughts on Ricky Pearsall in the captain spot here? Second game now back. They're very shorthanded, right? Overall, San Fran loved, right, going to Juwan Jennings, using that wide receiver 3 set. What's your take on Ricky Pearsall, who seems to be wide receiver 2 right now, right, due to the injuries with Juwan and Brandon Ayuk out? Any takes on him? Because Dallas, like I said, has gotten gashed by wide receivers 2 pretty much all season. I mean, J-Mo went for 17. Wando Robinson went for 18. Bateman went for 12. Shaheed went for 21. Right. So, I mean, the only wide receiver 2 this season that really didn't do anything was Calvin Austin, and that's because he had a running back throwing him the football. So, yeah,
I mean, Pearsall's very good. I don't know, 5,800 is kind of expensive. I haven't built any teams yet, but if you need him for salary, my only thing with Pearsall is I think this is a Jordan Mason, 20 to 25 carry game. Then I think Debo slots ahead of Pearsall. I think Kittle slots ahead of Pearsall. So for me to get Pearsall to the captain, I don't think I'm going to get there. I want one of those. I want one of those big 3 up there in Kittle, Debo, and Mason. If I'm going Niners, I didn't even mention the quarterback, right, or either quarterback. Which we talk about it all the time. Showdown is tough. Neither of these guys are runners per se. I mean, I guess they can run when they have to, but they're not the Justin Fields types of runners, Anthony Richardson types. So it's going to be those big 3 for the Niners is where I'm going to focus the captain spot tonight.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown there. So, yeah, I like your take there. For me, from the captain position, yeah, Jordan Mason is going to be my favorite. I like him a ton. Probably then George Kittle. I don't really care about matchups with him. This offense has been running through Kittle the last 5 weeks. He's been heavily involved. Now there's even more injuries there. I just think that improves Kittle's floor ceiling combination even more. I do like Debo. I like CeeDee Lamb. And then kind of my low-owned captain would either be Jake Ferguson or Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle, the reason I like him at $12K, he's kind of the cheapest guy of the skill positions, right? and running backs the last 2 weeks have kind of pretty much gashed this team. Actually, they've done pretty good all season long against this Niners team. And I seen another D lineman is going to be out too for defensive tackle. Kevin Givens is also listed out with a core injury. So they're a little beat up on that defensive line there too for San Fran. They've already been giving it up on the ground. Rico Dowdle seems to obviously be the best back in this backfield. It is kind of scary, right? Was Zeke still there? But looking at the last couple weeks here, I mean, 2 weeks ago against Pittsburgh, Rico Dowdle got 20 carries, 11 carries, 5 carries, but he's been getting tons of targets through the air. I mean, last week he had 6 targets through the passing game here. If you expect, like I kind of do, and it seems like you kind of do, San Fran to be leading in this game, right? I think he could get there through the ground, but also in the passing game. And he's got shitty Dak throwing him the football, so Dak's definitely there and live to throw those checkdowns there. So I kind of like him a little bit as a sleeper play. As kind of my fifth captain would be Rico Dowdle, but definitely Jordan Mason, definitely CeeDee Lamb. Probably my top 2, and then Kittle would be number 3 for me.
I hope the boss Hoop doesn't listen to the show. Hoop, if you're listening, turn it off, man. Nades is talking crap about your boy Dak, saying he's a shitty quarterback. So if Hoop's listening, oh man, you're in deep trouble. That's his boy. He's got the
listen. No, Hoop and I agree. Hoop thinks Dak is a terrible quarterback, but hey, he's a business decision. And tonight, guess what? Tonight's not a business decision for me with Mr. Dak Prescott here, at least in the captain spot. So I think Hoop and I will be arm in arm. We'll see if Hoop listens to the show, and we'll have to tag him in the chat over there. But Hoop and I are kind of in the same camp, I think. Both think Dak's a terrible quarterback. He's a shitty quarterback. Dallas is never going to win anything significant with Dak under helm. I'll tell you that right now. And probably nothing significant with McCarthy as the head coach either. That dude's just a complete donkey. Got one for us over in Green Bay, but, man, happy to ship his ass out of here. So, let's jump into the flex position, and we got to talk about it, right? Kickers and D is where we always start, right? Kind of theme of these shows. And Mr. Jake Moody's on the shelf. And guess who gets elevated? Guess who they went out and signed? They didn't watch the NFC Championship game last year when Mr. Anders Carlson basically gave San Fran a free trip right to the old Super Bowl there with his 75 missed field goals he had all season long. They went out and signed him. Jake Moody's on the shelf. So, you got my boy, right? Former Green Bay, terrible, worst Green Bay player we had on the season last year. Anders Carlson in there, off the freaking, literally signed off the streets. I mean, this dude was bagging groceries at Kroger. Now he's coming in to kick field goals here for the San Fran, who historically have loved to kick field goals this year. It's a little bit different, right, with Jake Moody when you're going to Carlson. And then on the other side, you got one of the best kickers in the NFL in Brandon Aubrey. Touch on the flex position, the kickers and the defenses here. Pretty high total, right? 47 total. So naturally, I'm going to be a little bit lower on the defenses, but you could make the case the opposite way. Should be more scoring, which leads to more opportunities, right, for these defenses. But Carlson at 5K, Aubrey at 5,400, and then you got the defenses 4,400 and 3,400 for that Cowboys defense. I know it's not the same defense of years past. No Micah Parsons, no Lawrence in there. But, man, 3,400 for a Cowboys defense who historically likes to take chances. They still got Travion Diggs, I believe, in the secondary, who still I think he sucks, but he's good at jumping routes, right, and potentially getting you a pick six to the house. 3,400 for them. Talk on those flex plays right now.
Yeah, speaking of not listening to the show, I hope the Carlson family, I know they're big supporters of SHIPIT Nation, but, man, you're just dogging their son out. He kicked for him last game, and he missed his only extra point attempt. I felt so sorry for the kid. And Nate's over here piling on, and I'm over here just so sympathy, man, the former Auburn great. But, man, they're only $400 different, right? And I think you're going to definitely side with Aubrey. I mean, once the Niners get across, midfield, you're basically in field goal range for Aubrey. He said, I don't have it pulled up, but I mean, how many 50-yarders has he hit this year? I would say at least 8, probably close to 8. He's not a lot for 15, but 10 to 15 is kind of his range, I think. So I think Aubrey is certainly in play. I wouldn't put him in the captain. I don't know your take on him putting him in the captain. I don't think I'll get to Anders at 5,000. I just think they're too close, and I'll side with Moody. And I actually like both defenses, Nades, in the flex. We saw Brock Purdy last week turn it over some against the Chiefs. You said it. This Cowboys defense isn't the same, but they can jump routes and take it to the house. And you just never know when you're going to get a strip sack, something like that. And Dak, same thing. Dak is turnover prone. I don't hate these defenses, especially with Fred Warner in there. I think Bosa's playing. Last I checked, he was playing. So, I don't mind either defenses. They would be flex only, neither one in the captain. And then I'm going to go with Aubrey over Carlson. I would find the $400 to get to Aubrey if I had to.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I probably don't really get any of Carlson. I just don't think he's a very good kicker, obviously, hence the spiel I went on. You saw it last week, right? He came in, missed a, 25-yard extra point. I forget how long extra points are. I mean, the dude just has no confidence. And then obviously now he knows he's kind of on the short list, right? And came in and he's got that in the back of his head too. I just don't, and I mean, price $400 cheaper than a kicker who hasn't scored less than 10 DraftKings points in 7 weeks, with a ceiling of 20. It's just hard to go there. Obviously, ownership's going to follow that same way. Aubrey's projected to be 35 to 40% owned for a good reason. 5,400. I mean, they should be pricing Aubrey. I know he's a kicker, but come on, DK, you should be pricing Brandon Aubrey at like 6K, 6,500 on the showdown slates because, like I said, he hasn't scored less than 10 DraftKings points. Like you said, Ham, 10 to 15. That's arguably his floor, right? All season. I mean, he hasn't scored less than 10. He's got a ceiling of 21, and he's priced like wide receiver threes, right? On a slate who have much higher chance to get 4 DraftKings points, right, than what Brandon Aubrey does. So I get it. He's a kicker. I'm going to have a ton of Brandon Aubrey. If there was another good kicker, I would have probably made a rule of min one of these kickers on my teams, but I just don't want to do that. I don't want 100% Brandon Aubrey. I just don't do that usually in Showdown, but I will have probably definitely over 50% Brandon Aubrey in my teams. It's just he's just too good of a play. Obviously, everybody knows that playing Showdown. We've had Cowboys on quite a few Showdowns. He's one of the best kickers in all of football. So that's an interesting point there. I'm with you on the defenses. All it takes is one opportunity. Kind of siding in Hoops camp, right? Getting back on Hoops train a little bit here. Got to schmooze him up a little bit after shitting on his boy Dak. But put a good projection on these defenses and just a fair projection and what hits. Probably don't really want to go over 20%. I just never really play Showdown with defenses. I just like other skill positions, especially in a game like this, Ham, where we're dealing with injuries and we got guys down in this range that are going to see increased opportunities, increased role right down at the bottom. I mean, you got Chris Conley and Ronnie Bell who are fighting it out right now for wide receiver 3 in this offense. They're 2,800, 3K. You get Jacob Cowing as well at 4K. So obviously the 49ers are down pretty bad in terms of injuries. You got Kyle Juice at 2K. And then on the Cowboy side, you got Turpin at 4,800, right below those kickers, who's been involved in this offense, also returns kicks and punts there in Dallas. Talk on this lower tier below the kickers and kind of the defenses. I'll group all these guys in. You got Taylor Jr. in there, Kyle Juice, Luke Schoonmaker, right? You got Fat Boy Zeke all the way down at 2,400. Man, a couple 1 yard plunges for Zeke on the table here tonight. I mean, it's pretty gross, but 2,400. I mean, you've been seeing these backup running backs, right, be priced in like the mid 5K, 6K range. Now Zeke is 2,400. I mean, he's cheaper than guys like Eric Saubert, right? So bring that up. I think that's a pretty interesting down there looking at how this pricing lines up. Obviously, he's got Dalvin Cook to deal with. He's got Hunter Lupke to deal with. But talk on that take there.
Yeah, I disagree with you a little bit just because I think they're bringing Cook up to replace Zeke. And at $1,000, I mean, I haven't seen practice, obviously, but they're saying this Dalvin Cook guy looks rejuvenated in practice. They're going to give him some carries. Zeke just can't do it. Big body Zeke, 10 carries, like 21 yards, just isn't getting it done. So at $1,000, I think Cook's not a terrible play. I mean, I'm just looking down here. I mean, you're just rolling the dice. I mean, we talk about it. Like, even if Kyle Juszczyk gets in the box, he's not going to score more than like 9 or 10 points. And will you even need that? And we've seen it time and time again. these dudes score, get one carry or one catch for a touchdown, they're still not on the winner. That Saints guy, the tight end was who I was thinking of. So it's just so tough. I mean, no thank you on Chris Conley, Ronnie Bell. It's tough down there, Nades. I was building a team as you were talking. You can jam in some studs, but I do have Dalvin Cook on that team. So for me, I will have a few Dalvin Cooks. I think they'll give him a look. But man, it's tough between Dalvin Cook and the Cowboys defense, in my opinion. That 3-4 to 1K range. I didn't see anybody I like in there. Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I think my plays would kind of come from the San Fran side, right? Probably Ronnie Bell, or probably Ronnie Bell or Chris Conley, to be honest. Conley last week played. So last week Conley played 70% of the snaps. He's projected to be wide receiver 3. They like 3 wide receiver. He got 2 targets last week. Didn't bring any of them in. He's a gross play, but I mean, at his price point, $3,200. I don't hate it. Obviously, you can kind of make the same case for Ronnie Bell in there as well. He had 2 targets last week too, caught one of them. Those 2 guys I would probably put over these running backs. The reason I say that is looking at the snaps for Dallas in the running back room, right? They still have Hunter Luepke, and over the last 4 weeks, right? I mean, here's their snap share: 43% for Rico Dowdle. Hunter Luepke's getting 30% of the snaps as running back 4. Zeke was getting 30% of the snaps. Now they're adding another head into that offense. I mean, it's about to be a 4-way split, not full split. Obviously, Rico Dowdle's running back 1 gets majority of the snaps, but it's still under 50%. Now they're adding another guy in there. I get it. They're cheap, but man, it's hard to fathom, right? Having 4 guys to deal with. I think my favorite would just be Rico Dowdle and just pass, to be honest, from the Dallas side in terms of the running back position. I just like Rico Dowdle the best. He's the best back, in my opinion. I get Dalvin Cook's 1K. Dalvin Cook would probably be my second favorite guy just because they activated him for a reason, right? Didn't play any snaps the last 4 weeks. Now he's going to be activated here. He has a projection, so that's kind of good signs, right? They kind of seen what they got out of Zeke, right? 8 carries last week, 17 yards, 6 carries, 17 yards the last week before that, right? So you got about a ceiling of 20 rushing yards and about 10 attempts for Zeke. Good 2-yard average there. So I think they're done with him. But even then, I mean, you're looking at 30% of the snaps for Dalvin Cook, maybe 5 carries to 10 carries maximum. Could he do it? Yeah, I think he could. I just rather take a shot for a little bit more expensive at wide receivers who are going to be on the field for 75+% of the snaps, in my opinion, at least in the San Fran offense in a game where I think San Fran wins. So I just think opportunity-wise, from a wide receiver standpoint, they're just going to have more opportunities there. So that's kind of my take on that. I don't know if you have any kind of additional takes and feedback on this value tier after I kind of went through it a little bit, but
yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, the Dallas running back's certainly tough. They're probably more of a fade for me. I would just play Dalvin for $1,000 and hope he gets 60 yards and a touchdown, something like that. Which, I mean, like I said, I haven't built teams. I just did one right quick and got some studs in there and then jammed him in there at the end. So yeah, should be a good day. Looking forward to watching the real life game and then obviously the showdown slate.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think we hit on it pretty good. For me, I'm just going to cross 5 ones off. I've been doing it pretty much all year. Really hasn't hurt me. So I'm going to be on Tamp 4-2, 3-3. I know that's a more popular route. But again, I mean, 5-1 builds still get 10 to 12% ownership. So right there, you're kind of taking out more combinations, right? So I won't have any 5-1 builds here tonight. I think it does make some sense. But I really like going the 2-4 style builds. It's probably my favorite in tournaments. It's just always under-owned, right? With the captain, 1 other in the flex, and then 4 guys on the other side bringing it back. That's kind of my favorite way to build. And I can definitely see it in a game like this, right? Jordan Mason at top. You put it like a Kittle in the flex who can get their PPR points, right? And then you got Dak and his shitty team coming back on the flip side, throwing the ball. So especially with the running back situation, right, for Dallas. Obviously, I like Rico Dowdle a little bit, but you have to assume you like the pass catchers more. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb, right? Jalen Tolbert, who we didn't hit on too much. Kevin Turpin are kind of the main guys there. And then obviously Ferguson, who I do like quite a bit as well. on that side. So overall, should be a fun game here tonight. If you guys aren't a member yet and you want to sign up, use that promo code NBA15, get you locked in, 15% off any membership plan. $85 a month gets you an optimizer in a house for which we use the Shiptimizer here. Optimizer designed to help you ship, plus all the projections, content, core plays, everything, the stone for all the sports we offer on the site. $85 a month. Some places across the industry are charging $89, $90 a month just for NBA, and then you got to go on and buy an optimizer. For $85, you get everything on our website, plus an optimizer with all the sports, all the Discord access, everything for $85 a month if you use that promo code NBA15. Go to shipitnation.com, click the banner at the top of the screen, and it'll automatically prorate it down to the $85 a month. But that's going to do it for this quick hit here for Sunday Night Football. Hopefully your main slate's going good by the time you watch this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. And down in the comment section, drop your favorite captains, your thoughts about tonight's game. But should be a fun one here in San Fran to round out this massive Sunday here, 13-game main slate, and then obviously this game here to round us out. But for Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. Let's ship it.